சம் என்ன பண்றது, எனக்கு சம் பீப்புள் அது அப்படியே போயிட்டே இருக்கு, நிறைய குறைஞ்சிரும் போல இருக்கு. சரி பரவாயில்ல, நாட் அன் இஷ்யூ, ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை, பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஃபைன். ரைட். ஓகே. Okay, let us continue whatever is there. So I'm going to present the thing now. So 8086 is an enhanced version of 8085 microprocessor designed by Intel in 1976, and 16-bit microprocessor having 20 address lines and 16 data lines. In this one point we have to know, it has got 20 address lines and 16 data lines. Address means something where it's basically a location where data can be stored. Now, how we are having, suppose I want to go to say a person X wants to go to person's Y place. How you can go to person Y's place? Through address. So like that, in our computer terminology also, we have, we want to store a data in a particular location, means address is a way with which you can store the data. So 8086 is a very good processor from that point of view. Of course, those times were different, where it had 20 address lines and 16 data lines, providing up to 1 megabyte storage. It capability was 1 megabyte. So now these days, like you have gigabytes and terabytes, but those days 1 megabyte was very more. It was quite a large size. And it also consists of powerful instruction set, and it also provides operations like multiplication and division easily. See, what is the thing is, like basically multiplication and division are, we normally refer in common mathematics as like repeated addition for multiplication, repeated subtraction for division. That in 8085 has some lack of capability. That lack of capability is there in 8085. So in 8086, that limitation was removed by providing some dedicated multiplication and division instructions. See, I started our discussion with 8086 microprocessor. Before going into that, we should know why we should go for a microprocessor or microcontroller. Actually speaking, all real-time systems are controller-based systems. Most of the 90% of the systems are controller-based systems, like microprocessor, microcontroller, PLC, etc. All real-time systems. And now we are having Internet of Things with Industry 4.0. So it becomes Industry 4.0, and Internet of Things is nothing but industrial Internet of Things. It's what does it mean? That like every domain, every industry, be it manufacturer, be it service industry, be it medical industry, or whatever kind of industry, will be now automated, fully automated, or at least 90% automated. So Industry 4.0 was the term which was coined by German, because Germany are good in this manufacturing sectors, and to an extent by Japanese. So all entire domain will be automated, be it civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, and of course computer science and IT are always going to be there. Biotechnology, every domain will be automated. So we can't say that we have to we learn one domain and we keep quiet in this present day and age. One should know all domains. All sets of domains are to be known in order for us to survive in this particular condition. So 8086 is one kind of a microprocessor. Actually, now presently various processors are there. Pentium, you have AMD processors, etc. They're all now. Earlier there used to be only Pentium. Now you have AMD and many other competitors like Philips, Sony, like that. But all starts from a smaller scale. Whatever internet that we are having and we are enjoying now, especially in the lockdown time, is a result of the work which was started somewhere in the 70s. Internet itself was started in the year 70s, 1970s, but it was started within the defense, not in the public sector or consumer. So that is where these processors were started, computers, they were all working. These processors were meant for small systems like calculators. Like we all have calculators right now, scientific calculator, normal calculator, like that. So small calculators, they used these kind of processors only with the LCD or LED display. So that is why it is also necessary for an engineer like us to know the hardware component also. That is why we have to understand these processors. And subsequently, when we talk about 8051, we'll be studying about 8051 microcontrollers. That is more powerful, but rather more dedicated. So I told you, like it has certain features like 20 address lines, 16 data lines. Yes. Yeah. 20 address lines, 16 data lines, providing up to 1 megabyte of storage. Also consisting of powerful instruction set, good instruction set like multiplication and division operations can be performed. Next. The most prominent features of 8086 microprocessor are, there are certain very prominent features which makes the 8086 microprocessor very, what do you call, unique. Instruction queue. If you all know what is a queue means, we stand in a queue in any service. Say you want to have a buy a ticket for movies or railways or anything. Now presently more when the lockdown will be over, I think more queue systems will be take more prominence, where the first come person will be first served. So the queue is nothing but a first in, first out. First person going in will be the first person to be served. So in an instruction queue, which is capable of storing 6 instruction bytes, that is, the queue capacity has a capability of storing 6 instruction bytes. 1 byte is nothing but 8 bit. 6 byte means 48 bits can be stored. Bit is nothing but a single data. It can be either 0 or 1. So instruction queue, it will be storing in the queue. All the instructions can be standing in a queue. So what happens is the data can be speedily processed. That is one feature. The second feature is 16-bit.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, நிறைய பேர் வந்துட்டு அக்செப்ட் பண்ண சொல்லி கேட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்க. நம்ம
பட்
அபிஷியல்
எனக்கு
குரூப்
அந்த இது
மெசேஜ்
வர
போட்டுட்டு
மாட்டேங்குது.
இருக்கோம்.
எனக்கு புரியல. ஸோ நோ ப்ராப்ளம்ப்பா. நான் வந்து இதனால ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் வராது. ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் இதெல்லாம் வில் ட்ரை டு
இல்ல அவங்க அட்டெண்டன்ஸ்க்காக பாக்குறாங்க சார், வேற எதுவும் இல்ல சார்.
யாருன்னு அது சொல்லுங்க. நான் வில் ட்ரை டு இன்க்ளூட் இட் லேட்டர்.
குரூப்ல நேமோட ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் நம்பரோட சேர்த்து போட்டுருக்காங்க சார்.
அப்படியே
ஆரம்பல ஆல்சோ ஜாயின் பண்ணனும் சொன்னாங்க சார்.
எனக்கு
நான் சொல்லிருக்கேன் சார், யாரெல்லாம் வந்து ஜாயின் பண்ணுமோ அவங்களோட நேம் ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்பர் எனக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ல சென்ட் பண்ணுங்க, நான் அவங்க கிட்ட சொல்லலாம்ட்டு.
வர மாட்டேங்கிறது. I am not able to get it. You are able to understand what I am saying?
புரியுது சார். நானும் அந்த ஸ்கிரீன் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன் சார், ஆனா உங்களுக்கு வர மாட்டேங்குது. பட் ஏன்னு தான் தெரியல சார்.
More I try to do that, என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா what happens is நடுவுல வந்து கட் ஆயிருது ரெக்கார்டிங். அதுதான் ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கு. ஸோ அதனால ஜஸ்ட் யூ டெல் them like nothing to worry. MLN will have a early session itself. 10 to 10:30 will have those session. இது மாதிரியே பண்ணிடலாம். சஞ்சயும் கேட்குறான் பாருங்க. ஹலோ சஞ்சய், join. I am trying to do that. I am not able to get in.
Okay.
Message.
You have to admit people, sir. You are not not getting the copy of this, sir.
எப்படி பண்றது? How can I find that admit people? அது
சார் இது வந்து எப்படி கேக்கும்னா, இப்போ வந்து யாராவது ஜாயின் பண்ணாங்கன்னா they want to join the meeting, admit or not admit, இல்லனா do not admit, ரெண்டு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு.
எனக்கு அந்த இது வரல unfortunately.
Google Meet ஆப்ல
ஆ.
இருக்கு சார். இல்லனா அந்த இடத்துல ஐ பட்டன் இருக்கும் சார். தேர்ட் காலம்ல.
Third column, just 1 second. ஐயா
ஐ பட்டன் சார். ஐ போட்டு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரவுண்டா இருக்கும் சார்.
இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்னா ஹெல்ப் இருக்கு, ரிப்போர்ட் அபியூஸ் இருக்கு.
சாட் நம்ம யார் யார் ஆன்லைன்ல இருக்காங்க பார்க்குற காலம்ல தேர்ட் காலம்ல ஐ பட்டன் போட்டு ரவுண்டா இருக்கும் சார்.
இது எங்கேயோ போயிட்டு இருக்குது.
1 செகண்ட் சார்.
It is going like a big screen.
சார்
சார் இல்ல சார் நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து எத்தனை பீப்பிள் இருக்காங்க சொல்லி நம்பர் ஆஃப் பீப்பிள் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காலம்ல காட்டும் சார் உங்களோட ஐகான் கீழ.
இவ்வளோ வருது.
அதுக்கு அடுத்து சாட் ஐகான் காட்டும் சார். அது பக்கத்துல ஐ போட்டு ஒரு ரவுண்ட் இருக்கும் சார்.
எனக்கு இந்த chat வருது எல்லாமே.
பக்கத்துல இருக்கும் சார் அது.
எனக்கு I'm not able to get it here.
ஒரே சார் நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் அனுப்புறேன் சார் வாட்ஸ்அப்ல.
நடு ரெக்கார்டிங் பரவாயில்ல. You have to get used to that.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார் அனுப்புறேன் சார்.
This problem occurs, guys. Don't. So what I will do is at least next class, we all learn. It's all our learning experience. So I'm not. I appreciate people who are wanting to join, and I'm not able to admit them. Another system limitations irukkalam. So that's not one should not take it in the wrong sense. So what I will do is at the present juncture, I can only ask them to what I will tell.
சார் உங்களுக்கு யாரெல்லாம் ஜாயின் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு கேக்குறாங்களோ அவங்கள வந்து அவங்களோட நேம் அண்ட் ரெஜிஸ்டர் நம்பர் உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப் பண்ணிருக்கேன் சார்.
அது வருதுப்பா, நீ அத அனுப்பிச்சிட்ட. என்னோட சிஸ்டம்ல அது
ஆமா சார், நான்
வர மாட்டேங்குது.
தெரியுது சார், உங்களுக்கு வர மாட்டேங்குது.
ஆ
சிஸ்டம்ல டைரக்டாவே நோட்டிஃபிகேஷனே காட்டும் சார். இந்த மாதிரி வந்து அவங்க ஜாயின் பண்றாங்க
வெயிட்டிங் டு ஜாயின் எனக்கு வர மாட்டேங்குது unfortunately. That is the problem.
நான் ட்ரை பண்றேன் சார்.
Okay.
ஓகே சார்.
Okay, I will continue with this. I will try next session later. I will try to include them. Okay.
Okay sir.
Rahul.
Okay sir.
அந்த next session பண்ணுவேன்ல அந்த லேபுக்கு.
ஆமா சார்.
அப்போ இதே strength மெயின்டைன் பண்ணிட்டு will include them. Okay.
Okay sir.
அது சொல்லு. Fine. Okay. We'll come back. So the thing here is like it has I told you like it's a processor to have a 16-bit ALU, 16-bit registers, internal data bus, 16-bit external data bus, resulting in faster processing. And it is also available in 3 versions based on the frequency of operation. That is 8086, 5 megahertz, 8086-2, 8 megahertz, 8086-1, 10 megahertz. So these are all like operations, speed. So depending upon the versions only, but mostly internally they will all be same. And it uses 2 stages of pipelining. That is fetch state and execute state, which improves the performance. Fetching means taking it. Executing means running it. So,
sir, sorry for the interruption. Sir, sorry for the interruption. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Sir. I have yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. Sir, C. Kishan, sir, some more students are waiting. They are telling that you are not accepting. You are not. Please add them if they are.
Me accepting, sir. It's a case of I'm not getting those people's notifications.
But they are telling that they are.
It will be very cruel on my part to not accept them, sir. More the best, always I will have. But the problem is, sir, I am not able to get the notifications. Sir, like the dialog box that says that the person wants to join, that I am not getting that. That's what I am also searching. That's what it is.
Now one student called me and told, so just I'll ask him to check the correct code, whether the code is correct or not. But he's telling that he has gone, he's going inside, but he's not able to get connected.
Actually, the code was the one which I sent the latest in the morning itself, sir.
Okay, I'll read. Okay, I will tell the code to the student. Okay.
Right, sir.
Okay, you continue. Carry on.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, like you have two stages of pipelining, fetch state and execute stage, which improves the performance. Fetch state can prefetch, that is, it can take in 6 bytes of instruction and stores them in a queue. Execute stage executes these instructions. It has, that is, fetching means taking the data, execute means executing this data. So you have these two stages. This is not there in 8085 microprocessor. This is very much part of your 8086 and then subsequent microprocessors. So you have these two stages. The fetch is nothing but a stage where you take certain instructions before itself and stores them in a queue. That is, you are going to store the data in the queue after getting the instructions from the memory and storing them in a queue. First thing done. Execute stage is going to execute these instructions. Is going to run these instructions. That is what your execute state is going to do. And it has got 256 vectored interrupts. 256 categories of vectored interrupts. That is, interrupt is nothing but a device, that is a signal, which will want to have an attention of the processor. And for its job to be done. So like that in 8085, 8086 also has that kind of conditions. 29,000 transistors are possible. That is, the design of 8086 microprocessor has 29,000 transistors. Now, let us have a brief comparison between 8085 and 8086 processors. I'll check whether I have more people here. It will be nice if, because what happens is, if the ID is correct means definitely you
Sir?
can join. The problem
Sir?
is when your ID correct இருந்தனா உள்ள போயிடலாம். HOD sir உள்ள வந்துட்டாரே.
Sir?
ID correct இருந்தனா வந்துடலாம். Kiran joined. Like ID, when the Google Meet ID is correct means you can definitely will join. Rahul? I think
Sir.
they might have typed the wrong Google Meet ID. That's what HOD sir actually told me now.
இல்ல சார், நான் சஞ்சய் கூட இப்போ நான் என்ட்ரான லிங்க் தான் சார் அவனுக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணி விட்டேன். ஆனா அதுலயும் அவனால வர முடியும். ஸோ மேபி நீங்க லிமிடேஷன்ஸ் ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கலாம் சார். அதுக்கு வந்து நீங்க இல்ல இத்தனை பேர் தான் ஆட் ஆக முடியும் அப்படின்ட்டு மேபி லிமிடேஷன்ஸ் ஏதாச்சும் இருக்கலாம்.
250 people போட்டிருக்கேன்.
அதெல்லாம் வினோத் சாருக்கு ஆட் பீப்பிள்னு கொடுத்து நீங்க ஆட் பண்ணி பாருங்க சார்.
நேம்ஸ் கொடுங்க, கூகுள் மீட் நேம்ஸ்.
கூகுள் மீட் நேம்ஸா?
விஜய் ஆரமல்.
விஜய் ஆரமல் என்ன இதுல இருக்கு?
அது விஜய் ஆரமல் தான் சார் அவன் நேம். விஜய் ஆரமல் 37@gmail.com.
AR
இந்த கீழ வரல 36 வருது சார். ஸ்பேஸ் விடாம சார்.
ஸ்பேஸ் விட கூடாதா?
ஆமா சார்.
ஓகே.
லாஸ்ட்ல இருக்குல சார் ஆரமல் அந்த தான். விஜய் ஆரமல் 36.
விஜய் ஆரமல் 36. கரெக்ட்டா?
ஆமா சார்.
இப்போ நான் இன்வைட் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
சார் அது இல்ல சார்.
கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு இன்வைட் பண்ணு சார்.
அத கிளிக் பண்ணனும் சார். சார் இந்த விஜய் ஆரமல் 36@gmail.com வந்துச்சு சார்.
ஆமா.
அத கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கு அப்புறம் இன்வைட் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
36@gmail.com.
அவனோட ஐடியை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
இதுயா?
ஆமா சார்.
ஆமா.
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
இப்போ இன்வைட்
இன்வைட்டா?
இப்போ இன்வைட் கொடுங்க.
சென்ட் மெயில் கொடுத்துருங்க சார். சென்ட் மெயில்.
ஓகே.
சென்ட் மெயில். சஞ்சய் குமார்.
அதான் பண்ணனும் போல இருக்கு. சொல்லுங்க சஞ்சய் குமாரோட என்ன?
சஞ்சய் குமார் தான் சார்.
என்னதா இருக்கா? ஆல் லோவர் கேஸா?
ஆமா சார், எல்லாமே இல்ல சஞ்சய் கிருஷ் கொடுங்க.
சஞ்சய் கிருஷ் நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஆமா சார்.
நோ ரிசல்ட்னு வருது.
சார் ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க சார், நான்
சார்
வாட்ஸ்அப்ல கேட்டு சொல்றேன்
சார்.
ஏ
அபிஷேக் ஏகநாதன் சார்.
அபிஷேக் ஏகநாதன், அது என்ன மாதிரி இதுல வரும் சொல்லுங்க.
இல்ல சார் அது போட்டாலே பேர் இல்ல. ஆமா ரோல் கேஸ் தான் சார்.
எல்லாமே ஹையர் கேஸா?
இல்ல சார் லோ கேஸ் சார். ஏ மட்டும் கேப் சார்.
ஏ மற்றும் கேப்ஸ்.
அபிஷேக்
ஏபி
ஐ
ஏபி ஹெச்ஐயா ஏபி ஹெச்ஐயா
ஏபிஐ
எஸ் இகேவா
எஸ்ஹெச்இகே
எஸ்ஹெச்இகே
ஏகநாதன் இ
எல்லாமே லோவரா? இ வந்து கேப்ஸ் லோவரா?
ஆமா சார், ஸ்பேஸ் விட்டு கேப்ஸ்ல இ.
ஓகே. இ பிச்சைக்கியா
இஏகே
இஏகே
என்ஏடிஹெச்ஏஎன். ஒரு சொட்டுன்னு வருது சார்.
இல்லப்பா எனக்கு கரெக்டா சொல்லுங்க. ஏபிஐ எஸ்ஹெச்இகே
எஸ்ஹெச்இகே ஏகநாதன் இ எல் போட்டிருக்கீங்க சார். ஸ்பேஸ் போட்டு கேபிட்டல் இ
கேபிட்டல் இ
இஏ
இஏ சின்னதா
கேஏ
கேஏ
என்ஏ
எல்ஏ
டிஹெச்ஏ.
இல்லடா வரலடா, அது நீ டைப் பண்ணும்போது அதுவே ரிசல்ட் காமிக்கும். அப்படி வரலன்னா அது இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம்.
எனக்கு இமெயில் ஐடி சொல்லுங்கப்பா
சார். சஞ்சய் குமார் போட்டு பாருங்க சார், எஸ் கேபிட்டல்ல.
இல்ல நான் ஒன்னு பண்றேன். அவனோட எனக்கு ஐ ஹேவ் இஸ் இது வாட் யூ கால் சாரி ஒன் செகண்ட் ஐ திங்க் ஐ ஹேவ் இஸ் சஞ்சய் கிருஷ் 1206 at எனக்கு வந்து எல்லாரோட இமெயில் ஐடி கொடுங்கப்பா. ஈவன் கொஞ்சம் லேட் ஆனா கூட பரவாயில்ல. ஐ வில் டுடே gmail.com சஞ்சய் கிருஷோட இதுல இருக்கு. சஞ்சய் கிருஷ் இருக்கு, அத செலக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இன்வைட் கொடுக்கணுமா?
இல்ல சார், இங்க
சென்ட் இமெயில் பண்ணிட்டு சஞ்சய் காமிச்சிட்டேன்ப்பா.
ஓகே சார்,
சஞ்சய் காமிச்சிட்டேன்.
அப்புறம் நான் சொல்றேன் சார், நான் ஐடி இப்போ
ஐடியா கொடுங்கப்பா. எனக்கு இதான் இருக்கு. that's the only way I can do this.
நீரஜ் NIRAJ NJ 05 at gmail.com.
செலக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இன்வைட் பண்ணிட்டு சென்ட் இமெயில் தானே?
ஆமா சார். அப்புறம் நூர் NOOR M
ஜாயின் ஆயிடுச்சு.
வெரி குட். NOOR
M 1228
at gmail.
ஆமா சார், at gmail.com.
ஆல்ரெடி நம்மள்ட்ட அது ஃபுல்லா ஜிமெயில் ஐடி இருந்ததுன்னா டைரக்டா லிங்க் சென்ட் பண்ணி இருந்திருக்கலாம் சார். சோ ஈஸியா இருக்கும் சார்.
எனக்கு இல்லாத போயிடுச்சுனால பெரிய இதாயிடுச்சு எனக்கு.
அப்புறம் ஷெயின்
வரேன்ப்பா.
ஓகே சார்.
என்னது?
ஷெயின் SHANE ஷெயின் 13
jai19 at gmail.com கரெக்ட் தானே?
ஜெய் ஆமா சார், jai19 at gmail.com.
ஓகே, இன்வைட் ரைட்.
சார் சார்
கௌதம்
வரேன். எல்லாருக்கும் நான் மெயில் எல்லாரும் I will join. I will make everyone join. Don't worry. I will make everyone join. கவலைப்பட வேணாம். சொல்லு. கௌதம் GO
W THAM K
ஒரு நிமிஷம்ப்பா. THAM
K 4343 at gmail.com.
ஓகே. Right.
Sanjay, SANJAY.
One second. SANJAY.
1425
Okay.
54
54
at
number
gmail.
எல்லாமே.
ஆமா சார்.
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Right.
Mano Jiva, MA.
வரேன்ப்பா.
Okay sir.
மனோ
Jiva, MANO JEEVA.
Okay. மனோ ஜீவா
187 at gmail.com.
Okay.
Saran,
Fine.
SARAN.
Saran.
Number 2.
2. வெறும் 2.
ஆமா சார் 2. Sedu, SETHU at gmail.com.
Okay.
Aditya.
ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
Okay sir.
Right.
Aditya. ADHITHYA.
ADH.
ஆமா சார் ADHITHYA.
ரியோ 8YO.
ஆமா சார்.
ஆதித்யா ரியோ.
ஆமா சார்.
8YO. அதான்.
ஆமா சார்.
Okay, good.
Santosh Prasad, SANTHOSH
OOSH
Prasad, PRASAD 250.
Okay.
600 at gmail.com.
250
600.
Okay. at gmail.com.
ஆமா சார்.
Okay. Right.
Shalin.
Right. Once again.
Okay sir.
Shalin,
ஆமா சார்.
சார் அட்டஸ்ட்ல எல்லாத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணலாம் சார். பெட்டர் நீங்க ஒண்ணா கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு எல்லாரோட இமெயில் ஐடியும் அட் டைம்ல டைப் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறம் இன்வைட் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரே டைம்ல இன்விடேஷன் போகும்.
இல்ல ஏன்னா இனிமே நான் 11 o'clockனு வெச்சுக்கோ. இப்ப கொஞ்சம் லேட்டா ஆரம்பிச்சா கூட பரவாயில்ல.
ஓகே சார்.
SHA
LIN ASIR.
Shalin sir, Shalin Asir. Yeah.
ஆமா சார் at gmail.com.
Good. Fine.
Rahul Rocky.
Okay.
RA
எவ்வளவு இருக்குடா
இன்னும் ஒண்ணுதான் சார் இருக்கு.
RAG
HUL
Rocky 04.
Rahul Rocky 04. ஆமா சார்.
Yeah.
அப்புறம் ஒண்ணே ஒன்று தான் சார் லாஸ்ட். சூர்யா.
வர
ஓகே சார்.
சூர்யா
SURIYA 110420 at gmail.com. அவ்வளவுதான் சார்.
சார் இன்னும் ஒன்று சார்.
Sir, one see this one, sir. Sukesh.
வர சுகேஷ் குமாரா?
Yes.
One second, ma. I will add. If you start little late, also no issues. Sukesh, you tell me the email ID.
Sukesh. SUKESH 21 JA LL. Sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, I'm hearing.
JALLIT
IT,
URU.
you are Delhi Tour
Sir,
@gmail.
you are sir JALL sir JALLIT.
You are
Again use a last U. URU.
Delhi Tour. Right. @gmail.
Yes sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir.
Hello, welcome. Yeah, anyone else?
Sir. Jason, JASON.
JA
SON.
D. JASON.
SON. AB.
Jason Abhishek.
Ama sir.
11.
Abhishek11@gmail.com.
Okay. Fine. Shall we class start things again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it was quite a task, so I have to be careful next time. It's a learning experience. So anyway, I will. So what I will do is I will go back to a lot of pop-ups coming. So actually, I'm in the share model. I'm already there in share, I think. Correct?
Yes, sir. You are presenting the screen, sir.
Yes. So you can see the screen. Guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you can see the screens, thankfully, because
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because I have to refresh now the attendance also. More people have come. It's a good thing. So what first I have to clear first clear, then refresh. So then I have to download. You can mute it. I'll start things now. What you do is யாராவது ஒருத்தர் வந்து இந்த ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்துருங்கப்பா, ராகுல் ஆர் சஞ்சய் ஆர் ஹூவர்.
நான் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேன் சார்.
மேக்ஸிமம் ஸ்ட்ரெங்த்.
ஓகே சார்.
சரியா? நல்லா ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுத்துருங்க, ஏன்னா இதான் என்னோட ப்ரூஃப் லைக் இன்னைக்கு கிளாஸ்.
ஓகே சார்.
So I'm not able to get that thing. என்ன பாது அட்டெண்டன்ஸ் வர மாட்டேங்குது. இந்த ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் எடுக்க முடியுமா? ஃபுல் ஸ்ட்ரெங்த்தையும்
எடுக்கிறேன் சார்.
எடுக்கிற முடியும், மேக்ஸிமம் ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. Okay, so we'll start with our thing. We'll go back to our class now. Already in the screen. So I told you, like, again I'll start with the class, no issues. 8086 is an enhanced version of 8085 microprocessor designed by Intel in 1976. A 16-bit microprocessor that has 20 address lines and 16 data lines, providing up to 1 megabyte storage. So these are the facilities like 16 address data lines and 20 address lines, consisting of powerful instruction set, providing operations like multiplication and division. Then features as far as your 8086 are concerned. The features of 8086, like it has an instruction queue capable of storing 6 instruction bytes from memory, resulting in faster processing. First 16-bit processor having 16-bit ALU, 16-bit registers, internal data bus, external data bus of 16-bit, resulting in faster processing. Available in 3 versions based on the frequency of operations. They are 5 megahertz version, 8 megahertz version, 10 megahertz version. It also uses 2 stages of pipelining, which is not there in 8085. That is fetching and executing. When I say fetch means taking the data, executing means running the data, such that it improves the performance. The fetch state can prefetch up to 6 bytes of instruction. That is, you can take data, fetch data up to 6 bytes and store them in a queue. Execute stage executes this instruction. That is, it runs these instructions. 256 vectored interrupts. Anyway, we will be not seeing about that in detail. We'll be having a very brief overview. And 29,000 transistors in all, which is present in 8086. 29,000, which cannot be seen with that time. It was a huge number, huge count. Now it is billion transistors are there. Comparison between 8085 and 8086 microprocessor. 8085 is an 8-bit microprocessor, whereas 8086 is a 16-bit microprocessor. Address bus. 8085 has 16-bit address bus, whereas 8086 has 20-bit address bus. Memory. 8085 can access up to 64 kilobytes, whereas 8086 can access up to 1 megabyte of memory. Instruction. 8085 does not have an instruction queue. It's a very slow when I say, whereas 8086 has an instruction queue. Pipelining. This word is actually a part of the hardware terminology, especially in computers. That is, pipelining is a mechanism with which, before any instruction is there, suppose you are going to perform an addition of an instruction, addition of two numbers, and also you are going to perform subtraction of two numbers or any number, or division, multiplication. So you are having in all 4 different categories of operations to be performed. So when I say pipelining means, what will happen is when division is running, when division is being executing means, what will happen is the multiplication will start. It will start fetching the data and it will start ready for execution. Then once the division is over means multiplication will start executing the data. Now division job is over. Next, multiplication is now doing. So what will happen means as a subtraction is going on. For example, I'm telling this is all just an example. Subtraction will start fetching the data while multiplication is running. Once the multiplication is over means subtraction will take the place of multiplication. Then while subtraction is going on means addition will start. So it's nothing but a kind of a pipe, one after one another. As one instruction is being executed, another instruction will start. This is not there at all in 8085. 8085 only will do like one instruction is over only, then other instruction will start. Whereas 8086 means it does not have to wait for another instruction to complete. It will keep going on. It will keep on moving on and on. So that is the thing here. Next, pipelining. Pipelining, this is what the case of pipelining. This concept is called pipelining, where one instruction is being executed means another instruction will start executing. This is very much there in 8086 and now probably in the high-end processors. 8085, sadly, it is not there at all. Next, input-output. 8085 can address 2 raised to the power 8 memory locations or address input-output locations. That is 2 raised to the power 8 is nothing but 256 input-output devices it can connect to 8085. 256 input-output devices can be connected to 8085 microprocessor. But that's not enough from today's point of view. 8086 itself, that time itself, 2 raised to the power of 16, that is 65,536 output devices can be connected. So it's a better deal. Then cost. 8085 cost is very low, whereas 8086 is very high. Obviously, higher the processor, higher the cost. Lower the processor, lower the cost. So this is what it is. Now, coming to 8086 architecture. Before going into the architecture, in many of our assignment questions, like we have asked, explain the architecture of 8086 means, if the question itself is asked architecture or block diagram, means you have to draw. Even if it is not explicitly mentioned, you have to draw, means explain in detail the architecture of 8086, 8085 or 8051, means you have to draw and explain, so that this mistake is not at all followed. I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to pinpoint anything, I'm just telling you. Whenever a question is asked, explain the architecture of 8086 in detail, means you have to draw and you have to explain. It's a different thing, like unless the question asks draw and explain, means automatically you will understand it. But architecture of 8086 just simply ask means you have to draw and explain, because it's a big question. So that is why this clarity should be there. I'm just telling you for all, so that you will never forget it once for all. So I'm talking about what the architecture of 8086, where you have different interfaces. So you have BIU and EU. These are the two main subdivisions of 8086 processors architecture. BIU stands for Bus Interface Unit. EU stands for Execution Unit. I will talk about that in detail now. Before, I will just walk through you the what do you call that architecture of 8086. Then I will tell you the detailed instructions. You can see a memory interface in the top side, and you have certain arrow kind of running here. That is your control bus. C bus stands for control bus. Bus is nothing but a mechanism with which carries data to and fro from the system to the devices to the processor. Then you have this kind of this structure. This is coming down here is your ALU, a kind of a structure that has got a sigma. If you happen to see it, it is a sigma kind of a thing where your arithmetic and logical instructions are being executed in bus interface unit. Then you have bus, B bus. You have a ES, CS, SS, DS, IP. They are nothing but your extra segment, code segment, stack segment, data segment, instruction pointer. On the right hand side, you have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are nothing but your queue. The instructions are always waiting in the queue to be executed. That is why they follow the queue pattern like structure. Now we move from BIU, bus interface unit, to execute unit. Here also there is one. Sorry, actually, before going into that, that one symbol like sigma in that down. If you follow the downside, that is one. Then symbol is there. That sigma. That is basically going to generate your address, not arithmetic and logic unit. The arithmetic and logic unit is there in execution unit. Correction, please. That I will tell you now. Now from BIU and execution unit is divided by a means of a dotted line. From there, the control instructions will go here. Control system, it is there. The signals will come from bus interface unit to execute unit. Where you are going to have is your address bus. A bus is your address bus. Arithmetic and logic unit. You have operands like etc. Flags to be like that. And you have AH, AL, BH, BL, CH, CL, DH, DL. Actually, they are nothing but your 16-bit registers. AH, AL is nothing but your accumulator, AX. BH, BL is nothing but BX. CH, CL is your CX. DH, DL is your what do you call this DX register. Then you have stack pointer, SP, base pointer is BP, source index, destination index. They are nothing but where you are going to store your locations. So this is your executing unit. On the right hand side, you have arithmetic and logic unit, operands, and flags. This forms your entire architecture of 8086. So your BAU is divided into one subunit, EU is divided into another subunit. Anyway, I will give you this PPT after this session itself. I have to give also 8085 also. I will definitely share it with the class. Now, microprocessor 8086 functional units. As I told you, I just walked through you the different kind of functional units. Now, let us see them in detail. Execution unit and bus interface unit. Execution unit gives instructions to bus interface unit, starting from where to fetch the data and then decode. How, from where you have to get the data from the memory. It can be some kind of a memory. Like it can be like instructions or the program instructions. Like the program instructions is nothing but the computer language we are giving. The system does not understand our language. The system only understands the language of zeros and ones. I'm telling you very categorically. It only understands the language of zeros and ones. It decodes and it executes those instructions. The function is to control the operations on the data using instruction decoder and ALU. So you have to control the operations using the data, and you have to use that instruction decoder to read the data. So the decoder is nothing but a circuit that will read the data, and ALU. So it will give you the instructions to the ALU to perform these arithmetic and logical operations. So execution unit is nothing but one kind of an entity, entire entity. And it performs the operations over data from BIU. The control instructions from the BIU will given as an input to your EU. And it will start working your data operation. All data handling operation will be done in your execution unit. Next, arithmetic and logical unit. It handles all arithmetic and logical operations like plus, minus, multiplication, division, that is you call it as hash, or, and not operations. All kind of an operations can be done. Whatever you can do it in digital, you can do it here. See, actually we have one experiment in digital in electronics where all logic gates are going to be done. The programming of those logic gates can be done in microprocessor itself. So you can take it, it is to be taken that from digital electronics we learn your microprocessors. It's one step or another. So that is what this ALU performs, like plus, minus, star, multiplication, hash, or, and not operations. Now, flag register. It's again a kind of a register that will store the status of all kind of operations. See, you are performing some arithmetic operations, that is plus adding of two numbers. Suppose I am adding two numbers, say 48 plus 64. 48 plus 64. So what will be the result? 8 plus 4, 12. 6 plus 4, 10 plus 1, 11. 112 is the answer. 48 plus 64 is 112. 48 is 2-bit. 64 is 2-bit. But 112 is 3-bit, 3-digit. So how this 3-digit comes? One extra bit comes, that is 1. 112, out of 112, the 12 will be your sum, and that 1 extra is your carry. So that kind of an operation, that kind of a carry is set. That carry bit is now coming. These kind of a status, oh, the carry is set. So this kind of an indication will be shown in this flag register. So when I said 48 plus 64, when I added these two numbers, you get the result as 112. The 12 will be your sum, and the extra 1 will be your carry. That one carry will be stored in your this carry is nothing but your flag. That carry will not be stored in the flag. That carry is there or not, because in some numbers you may not get one extra bit. So whenever there is a carry that is set, means if carry is there, means it means that 1 is equal to 1. If carry is not there, means it is equal to 0. It's nothing but kind of a signal. Though those signals are stored in your flag register. So I'm telling you, it's like it's a term called flip-flops, and it changes its status. So this status or this indication will be changing, dynamic in nature, according to the result stored in the accumulator. It has 9 flags, and they are divided into 2 groups. So totally 9 flags are there, whereas in 8085 it has only had 5 flags, I think. And they are divided into 2 groups, that is your conditional flag and control flags. I'll show you the flag diagram now. Conditional flags. It represents the result of your last arithmetic and logical instruction executed. So whatever is your arithmetic and logical instructions that were executed, that is going to be, that represents your result of your last whatever the latest arithmetic and whatever the last instructions was done, that condition will be stored here. Let us see one by one. Carry. Carry means carry flag. This flag indicates an overflow condition for all arithmetic operations. Auxiliary flag. So auxiliary carry, before I'm going to auxiliary carry, before I will tell you, I'm again repeating it. Carry flag is nothing but one extra bit is coming, means that will be stored in your carry flag. That condition is set. Now coming to auxiliary carry flag, auxiliary flag. Whenever an operation is performed, say addition, so or subtraction, there are results certain condition like carry or borrow. I'm written borrow here, it is borrow. Please mind the mistake. It results in some borrow from the data. Now, if you see, it has got the data, the 8-bit in we have certain things. 8-bit means D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6 and D7. D0 to D7 totally there are 8 bits. So one entire 8 bits we will call it as 1 byte. You just remember that thing only just for a namesake only. But totally D0 to D7, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4.
Sir, can you come again, sir? How many bits, sir? 8 bits?
8 bit is nothing but D0 to D7. Hello?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Actually, D0 to D7 totally 8 bits are there. D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Now what I am doing is, I'm going to divide the entire 8 bits into 2 halves. 2 halves. How I am going to divide it into 2 halves means D0 to D3, 1 half. D4 to D7, another half. So when you are dividing the bits into 2 halves, we call it as NIBBLE, nibble. So the entire bits has been divided into 2 halves, we call it as nibbles. Lower nibble, that is your D0 to D3. Upper nibble, D4 to D7. Now we will understand we'll keep these 2 things aside. Lower nibble and upper nibble aside. Now I'm going to perform this. I'm going to see what auxiliary carry flag results. From D0 to D3, we are performing some operations. D0 to D3 for 4 bits of 2 numbers. We are performing addition of 2 numbers. We'll keep addition as a simple example. Addition of 2 numbers. The resultant you also get is 4 numbers as a sum, and extra 1/5 bit will come. That 5th bit is nothing but 1 carry. That 5th bit, 4 bits are already stored in the sum. We are not disturbing it. The 5th bit will be nothing but 1 carry. That carry has to be taken forward to D4. because that carry will go to the another thing and you are going to perform the two numbers plus that one extra carry. So that carry we are going to call it as your auxiliary carry, intermediate carry. It's not the final carry at all. It is nothing but your intermediate carry. So the carry which is resulting from D0 to D3 X bits is now taken forward to D4 to D7. So that carry flag, when that carry flag, that carry is come means AF flag is set, that is equal to 1. So this is set. If it is not there means this carry flag, it means 0. 1 means set, 0 means reset. It's like a switch on off. Like that you remember that. 1 means set, 0 means reset. 1 means on, 0 means off. Number flip switch like that only. So this condition is auxiliary flag. Next, parity flag. Suppose imagine this is basically this flag is used to indicate the parity of the result. I'll tell you. Suppose you are having 8 bits of numbers, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. And that 8-bit number is, I'm going to write it as 1111, 1111. So totally how many bits are there? 8 bits. And now count the number of ones in this 1111, 1111. If you happen to count the number of bits in 1111 and 1111, it means that the number of bits count of ones is also 8. 8 is basically an even number. 8 is even number. So 1111, 1111 means what will happen is that parity flag is set. If the condition is even means parity flag is going to be equal to 1. It's a condition. Say for example 1111, 1110 means, hello, you can understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Say 1111, say you take 4 ones and 1110. So if you count the number of ones means it is going to be equal to 7. So it means that 7 is an odd number. So if that 7 is an odd number means, it means that the parity flag is reset. That is PF is equal to 0. So like that, if you have the number of ones in a bit, if it is even means the parity flag is set. If the number of ones is 0, is odd means the parity flag is reset. This is also part of the flag register. Next, 0 flag. This flag is set to 1 when the result of the entire arithmetic and logical operation is 0. Suppose I am going to perform subtraction of two numbers, 1111, 1111 minus 1111, 1111. Obviously, you will get answer as 0000, 0000. The entire operation is 0. It means that 0 flag is equal to 1. If I am otherwise, any other operation means the 0 flag is equal to 0. Only when the result is equal to, when the result is entirely 0 means, often any arithmetic and logical operation means 0 flag is set to 1. This is about your 0 flag condition. Sign flag. This flag holds the sign of the result. That is, when the result of the operation is negative, then the sign flag is set to 1. Otherwise, the set to 0. It's nothing but what you are going to have a number. The final result, if it is going to be a negative number, means sign flag is equal to 1. If the given number is positive number, means sign flag is set to 0. This is a case of positive or negative checking. See, actually speaking, when we are writing in arithmetic like negative numbers or positive numbers, but actually speaking, system does not understand negative sign as it is. It only takes the condition. Even when you are performing addition or even when you're performing subtraction of two numbers in a computer, for example, by default, behind the scenes only addition is performed. This is one point I wanted to share. Subtraction is for our result, for our display purpose, for our satisfaction that we are seeing the subtraction. For even in our calculator itself, we are seeing the subtraction. But actually speaking, it is like it is going to be only addition is going to be performed in sign flag. Have you understood that sign flag, zero flag, parity flag, carry flag, auxiliary carry flag?
Yes, sir.
It's all very robust. It's all very straightforward concepts. Nothing much of a there's nothing much of a discussion there. They only they are nothing but some indicators. So flag register will indicate all these things. But data will change appropriately, dynamically. This is what the flag register is all about. Then overflow. Like you take an example, overflow flag means you are filling take our colloquial example, daily example is we are filling our bucket with water. No. So the water is filled up to the brim, full capacity ki fill aayirukku. Now what happens is if we keep on, once the capacity is full, means we have to stop filling the water. Otherwise, what will happen? Overflow will occur. On that similar concept only, this overflow flag is there. If the data is exceeding beyond certain limit, means it is going to give an overflow condition. It is not to be please do not confuse this with carry flag. Carry flag means one extra bit. But even extra bit ko there is a condition is there. The 8086 has a way to satisfy. Overflow means for 8-bit or 16-bit you are performing operations. Beyond 16-bit, more types of operations you try to do means overflow flag will indicate. Overflow means beyond filling beyond the capability is called as overflow. Moving on, we move to control flags. It is again a kind of a these are all nothing but non-arithmetic operational flags. They are just an indicator as what kind of a system-oriented operations that are to be performed. Even in our computer itself, these operations are there. But as an end user, we are not bothered to look into that. It's all happening within the hardware setup. It all happens in zeros and ones. We can't see. So there are some control flags: trap flag, interrupt flag, direction flag. So trap flag is nothing but one whenever you execute one instruction at a time. So this is one flexibility there, like you can run the program in step by step. If the program is running in step by step mode, means this condition is set. Otherwise it is reset. Nothing much of a discussion there in this case. This is all happening within the system itself. Even we are, as an end user, will not be bothered like whether these flags are executing or not. So this is about one at a time, step by step running of the program is taken care by trap flag. Interrupt flag, interrupt enable or disable flag, which is used to allow or prohibit the interruption of the program. So whenever you are say for example, let us take again a very favorite example of interrupts is your printer operation. What we do, we are going to give a print operation, print command to the system, and it starts printing it. But actually, for us the operation is very simple. From a computer point of view, it's complex. How it is that interrupt enable or interrupt disable means the kind of the printer has to take the permission from the processor to perform print operation. Like what I explained in the 8085 microprocessor, like that simpler kind of permissions are taken from your 8086 also, although there are more complex interrupts are there. So depending upon the nature of the interrupt, whether it is a required interrupt, necessary, we call it as priority of the interrupt, whether it is necessary or not, it allows or prohibits the interruption of the program. The processor, everything the processor will do. Processor is powerful enough to allow the interruption or it will disallow the interruption. It is set to 1 for interruption. Otherwise, it is set to 0 for interrupt disabled. So it only has 1 or 0 condition. So interrupt flag is taking that part. Direction. It is used in string operation. as the name suggests, it is set when the string bytes are accessed from your higher memory address to the lower memory address. So from the higher memory address, data bytes are going to be accessed means this direction from higher memory to lower memory, or from lower memory to higher memory. This flag is set. This is also, as an user, we are not very much bothered. Now coming to the most important part as far as the execution unit is concerned is your general purpose registers. There are 8 general purpose registers, that is AH, AL, BH, BL, CH, CL, DH and DL. AH means accumulator, A for accumulator, B, C, D are general purpose registers. So accumulator is going to be, I'm telling you now. So AH, AL means A higher order, H for higher order, L for lower order. It means it is taken as H for higher order, L for lower order. So collectively they can be stored. They can be stored as 16-bit data. That time we call it as AX. Or otherwise, if you want to use only 8-bit itself, means 8-bit data also operation manipulation is also possible in 8086 register also. If you want to use only your 8-bit only, then you can use AH or AL. AL means A lower order 8-bit. AH is A higher order 8-bit. Similarly for BH, BL, CH and CL. L for lower order, H for higher order. Collectively, yes. Hello? Yes? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What I mean by that is L in a lower order, H in a higher order. Always. So combine lower order means 8-bit. Lower order and higher order means 8-bit. X you put it means 16-bit. This is just one technique. They are giving this one options which are available to us. So if you take AX, BX, CX and DX means they are collectively called as 16-bit. If you want to use it in 8-bit means AH, AL, BH, BL, CH, CL, DH and DL. Otherwise, you have to use as AX, BX, CX and DX. Now coming to these registers, AX. AX is called as accumulator register. So all arithmetic and logical operations are going to be performed and stored in this register. It's a kind of a buffer register. It's a buffer where you are going to store operands. Like you are going to have a cache memory in browser. Like that, 8086 also has a kind of a temporary storage mechanism that is taken care by AX register. BX register, again you can store the data from base address. This one also can be used as a data register. CX stands for counter, but that is counter means one incrementing one after one another like that. For example, you can take an example of your traffic signal, where from red you are going to have a red counter, orange you are going to have an orange counter, green you are going to have a green counter. So from red, as long as the red is there, means the red display will be there. Red digital display counter will be counting backwards. Once the counter becomes 0 means the red will automatically go to green. Then that green counter will start counting backwards. You can count forwards or backwards, but for traffic signal point of view, we are going to backwards. Then what will happen? The counter will go on decrementing backwards. Once the counter for green becomes 0 means it will go to amber or yellow. That amber will be the shortest counter. Again, that will count for a very smaller duration. Then again go back to red. Like that only the traffic signals are there. And the digital counter, all are going to be from the digital only. The digital electronics only we are going to do. Like that, you are going to have a stop clock for our running race, or your you know that ISRO missions or any rocket launch means the counter is going to count down rather. That is also going to be a counter only. So everywhere counter is used. Digital electronics is going to be used everywhere in all domains. So that is where, as far as CX register is concerned, it's going to be loop counter, counting one after another. Loop means something which is going to occur repetitively. Loop means something which is going to happen repetitively. for a condition or a non-condition. In programming languages, loops are always used to perform certain operations for certain time. Means loop is going to be performed one after another. Loop repeat or certain operations. That's what we call it as loops. For CX is a loop counter register. DX register. This register is used to hold input-output port address for input-output instructions. So this is all about your general purpose registers, that is AX register, BX register, CX register and DX registers. Moving on. Stack pointer register. Stack nalle I can always I think of is your idli thattu. Idli thattu நம்ம எப்படி வந்து we are using your idli plates for storing idlis. The last idli plate will be the first to be taken out. Like that only, stack is also used. Last in, first out. Whatever the word data which is recently stored will be retrieved from the stack. 16-bit register. It holds the address of the memory location. So the stack pointer also will be, it will be updated periodically. Moving on. Bus interface unit. Now we saw the previously was executing unit, now bus interface unit. It takes care of all data, addresses, sending addresses, fetching the data instructions from the memory, reading the data. You have to read the data, writing the data, all these are taken care by this bus interface units. So that has got certain functional parts. Instruction queue, as I told you, one after another. First will be going for the first thing, first in, first out. First instruction will be first to be executed, then second, then third. So one first byte, second byte, third byte, fourth byte, up to 6 bytes of instructions are stored in instruction queue. So whenever the EU is going to be executing this instruction, means it reads the instruction from the instruction queue. And I already told you, fetching the instruction from the fetching the next instruction where the current instruction is already executing, we call it as pipelining. This is actually to speed up your processing capability. Speed kudukono. You have to give speed. Then only this pipelining will work. Then segment registers. This is one feature which is going to be used in 8086, which is not there. Code segment, data segment, stack segment, extra segment. They are all going to store the data which is present in the memory. Or rather, they are going to access your memory locations. So like memory locations, wherever it is there, that has to be stored, that has to be identified by means of addresses. Those addresses are stored in these registers. That is, you call it as segment registers. Code segment, data segment, stack segment, extra segment. Code is also one instruction pointer, IP. The code segment is going to store the address of the program. Data segment is going to store the address of the instructions, the operand. Stack segment is going to store the memory to store the data and addresses in the next execution. Extra data, additional segment, you go for extra segment. Nothing much needed. They are just one features. So wherever the address, memory location and location we are going to do, that memory location has to be addressed in the code, means code segment. Data means data segment. Stack means stack segment. Anything extra means extra segment. Then instruction pointer along with that. Again, it is going to point to the address of the next instruction, like a pointer. It's a pointer is nothing but one kind of an indicator that will store the address of the next instruction. It's nothing but kind of an arrow mark, indicator that holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. So I think we are almost through it. Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that difficult? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Not difficult.
So I think I hope so, because we almost come to this part. So actually, from an examination point of view, they will only ask your architectural block diagram and you have to explain it. Okay, for my 8086.
Okay, sir.
So I'll just refresh the attendance once again, because I want to see how many of them are there. 43 are there. Good. I'm happy that good present strength has come. So what about the rest? Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Mattavanga, Rahul,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pawan,
Yes, sir.
Naidu, Hariharan,
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. We can understand, sir.
We can
Able to
understand
follow.
it, sir.
Like this way of approach of taking class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is one thing I must stop recording. I have to start another session for lab. Okay. I'll stop recording.